Hey, what's going on, guys? The Bearded Baron here, bringing you guys another Phasmophobia video. Now, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the much anticipated new Apocalypse map update, everything that's included with that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so the first things first is that my voice is a little bit off because I have been sick, but not to worry. I wanted to make sure I got this out to you guys as quickly as possible. So first and foremost, we're going to watch the entirety of the video, and then we'll break it down into its individual parts. Like I said, they're going to be coming out with so much more content here. This is finally what we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. So let's dive into the individual parts here that I wanted to break down for you. Now, the first and foremost here is if we head over into this, it looks like, first off, we've got a new Sunny Meadows map. Now, we've known about this for a long time. The devs have been talking about this since May of this year. That's not anything new, but now what is surprising about this is it looks like Sunny Meadows is actually broken up into 5 individual locations, right? Looks like they've added in a bunch of new stuff, right? This is a whole, whole rework of the map. It looks like you're going to be able to do some outside stuff as well as some inside stuff, but there's 5 small maps in one. So my thinking is that the Asylum map is going to be one large map, and then in each individual map inside of that, there's going to be 5 smaller maps that you're going to be able to investigate. Now, my question is that whether or not that you can actually mix and match, maybe you can stack 2 or 3 or 4 of them together, so that way you can get progressively larger maps or maybe unlock additional wings when you are playing. I don't know. That would be very interesting to see for sure. I'm curious as to, why they decided to break it up like this. I guess so that way you could both get the feeling of both small maps as well as the larger map as a whole altogether. Maybe you'd feel more comfortable tackling the smaller individual sections first before you took on the larger map. So that way, for new players, it wouldn't be as daunting. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting to see. It does seem like, if we go back in the video here a little bit, like I said, they have the new chapel that they've added in here. It does look like they have new hallways, new stuff like that to be put in there. One of the biggest problems with the Asylum map, and it's the same problem with the high school map, which hopefully, fingers crossed, gets an update as soon as well, is that there's not a lot for the ghost to be able to interact with. One of the biggest problems on the higher up difficulties is that the ghost doesn't want to interact with a whole lot of things, and some of those rooms in the high school and in the Asylum, just there's nothing in those rooms for the ghost to interact with. So it's very hard to hear it. It's very hard for the ghost to interact with its environment for you to be able to investigate it. So I'm hoping that each one of these rooms that they fixed that problem. But the aesthetic that I'm seeing here really looks really good. I like the lighting of everything as well. I'm curious if you can actually get more lighting or if it's just going to be this gloomy kind of thing. I think that having all this stuff here is really, really cool. Moving forward with this, right? Again, we get another sneak preview here of some of the maps. I like the corpse that is up here. You don't see a whole lot of corpses in Phasmophobia. The only one as of today is the body that's up underneath the cabin in the Maplewood map, and then you also have the skeleton bones, which may or may not be real, in the main lobby area. So for them to add this in, I think adds a new element into it. I'd be curious. It'd be really, really cool if the ghost could actually interact with the corpse, maybe make it move or something like that. I think that would add in a definitely a new layer of fear with everything. So I think that that's really cool. I really like the aesthetic of everything. Now they've decided to go with a new fuse box. I'm not 100% sure as to why they decided to switch over from the Switch to now they're doing this type of a fuse box. Maybe this is something instead where in order to be able to turn on the power, you actually have to go around and find the different fuses and then be able to put them into the box. Maybe there is an additional layer of gameplay that is there that we just don't see. The other thing as well is that maybe, you know, they're trying to go for more of an aesthetic, and I'm curious if that aesthetic is going to carry on outside of the Asylum maps and outside of the new Maple map, and if they're going to do that for all of the maps or if it's just going to be for these two. So let's see what else we got here. Now, the custom difficulty thing here, I have mixed feelings about the custom difficulty, and I'll tell you why. So on the one side, you have this, which I think is going to be extremely fun. This is the inside the new chapel here from what we've seen earlier. So this is like the main stage area of the chapel. So you have all of the cursed items that are here, which is really, really cool. And I think that's going to make for some very interesting gameplay, some very like insane type of gameplays, which obviously we're going to be tackling those challenges. The other thing about the custom games is that you can adjust these things, and we'll go into each one of these here into more detail. You know, first one being, right, evidence given, fingerprints chance, fingerprint durations, right? But the main thing that I want to point out here is the reward multiplier. Now, with this reward multiplier, for not only for money, but then also for experience gained, I feel like what's going to happen now is you're going to have a lot of players who are going to maximize the amount of reward multiplier that they can get in order to get as much money as fast as they possibly can and be able to break out of those levels super, super fast. Now, whether or not that transfers over to just money and XP, or if that just transfers over to just XP, I don't know. But if there's a new money-making way, obviously we're going to be covering that on the channel. I'll be showing you guys exactly how to set it up, how to get the most, you know, the most amount of money with the least amount of effort in there as possible. So be sure to follow and subscribe so that way you guys don't miss out on that. But yeah, so it looks like we can change everything here from the evidence given to the fingerprints. Now, if you look too, there's also the player and the ghost and the contract. So it looks like we're going to be able to customize a lot of things. Now, I've heard as well that you could customize things like whether or not that the player has run speed, or whether or not that the flashlights work, or how fast the ghost moves. Let's see a few others here. Man, it moves so fast. All right, so yeah, ghost speed, roaming frequency, changing of the favorite room, starting sanity, player restoration, sanity drain speed. Right, and you can adjust all those things. Sprinting, sprint duration. Right, so you can be a marathon runner, or you could be a gamer. Flashlights, you know, like we were talking about there as well. And then also lose items on death. Now, losing items on death, I think that this is another one that I think that this kind of takes away from people the scare factor of playing the game. Right? I don't think that this right here is going to be very good for the game. Let me explain. If you load up into a match and you're terrified of the ghost, because the ghost can kill you at any point in time, and you can lose your money, right? And you can lose your equipment as well. There's that sense of fear that you were getting from it. If I turn this on and I don't lose any of my items at death, even if I don't get very much for the multiplier, I'm still guaranteed to not die, or I'm guaranteed to not lose any of my things. So I will never decrease in value. I will only ever go up in value, which that to me takes away the scare factor of the game, because there's no longer a risk, right? Your rewards aren't as great, and that's true, but your risk is no longer there. And if you have no risk that's there, then people can just be as risky as they want to. I believe that public matches are going to be much more chaotic as a result, just because people are going to be running in, using the cursed objects, seeing if they survive the hunt. Oh, they didn't survive the hunt. Well, that's fine because I have, lose items on death turned off, so I don't lose anything, right? So I think that this one might be a potential problem. Honest opinion. Let's see what else we got. So now it looks like, I think this here again is more footage of... it looks like the same ghost model. This looks like the fisherman ghost model that we can see there. It's kind of hard to tell, but that looks like the fisherman ghost model. So I don't think any new ghost models are making an appearance this time around. This one again is the asylum. That was the asylum map. This is Willow Street, which I'm not sure what they're necessarily showcasing in this part here. Maybe the overall speed. Maybe they wanted to show where the ghost is much slower, and so therefore you could stand directly in front of it with a flashlight and a video camera. I don't know. Now, the next big thing that they came up with. So far we have basically two variations of the same map. We have Asylum, which is the much larger piece, and then we have 5 smaller maps that make up the individual components of Asylum. Same thing here with the Camp Woodwind, right? It's the campsite small variant. So you'll have the campsite, and then you also have now a small campsite as well. One of the problems that I have run into with the campsite map is it's not optimized very great. So people get a lot of lag issues on that map. So I think that they brought in this one as a way for people to still be able to experience the campsite map, another outdoor map, but then also kind of give you a different feel, with it being smaller. Maybe it's easier on people's computers. Right. So this one, it looks like what they've taken here is the central path out of the campsite. They've taken obviously the campfire, and then we can kind of see around over on this side as well of the the north pathway on the campsite. So maybe that's all that is kind of incorporated into this, so that way they make it smaller, so that back white tent section and the cabin section is no longer there. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see from this angle. I'm not seeing anything necessarily new over on this side. We still have the tent over there, the cooking tent over there, which is definitely there. And then this section, which could be somewhere, I couldn't really get a point of reference as to which side was over on this one. Now, this section right here kind of interests me because I do think there's something over there. I think that there's an Easter egg over in this area. It's hard to see, but you can see little dots, little shiny dots over here in this section. So that to me kind of just screams out that there's some kind of Easter egg. Now, the campsite map is notorious for having the most amount of Easter eggs as of today. So maybe with the new Asylum map, maybe we'll get a nice new Easter eggs as well with this new campsite variant. Maybe we'll get some new Easter eggs with that. I'm curious, and I'll definitely make a video on more of the Easter eggs if we can make up a full video out of it. So they're also coming out with new main menu, which has already been showcased before. They're changing that around. New lobby room. Now this one has not been talked about too much, so I'm curious as to what all that they're going to be incorporating in with the lobby. Now I know that the current lobby that they've had has been around since the beginning. They've added a few things to it, and obviously with the new holidays and things, they updated accordingly, which is really, really cool. I do think that they do holiday events very, very well. I'm very excited to see what they would do for the Halloween update. Maybe it'll come out with this update. Maybe it'll be a few weeks afterwards. I don't know. New shop. Now the shop, to my understanding, the new shop and the equipment loadouts, I think follows more aligned with another Ghost investigative game. I want to say it's like Ghost Exiles. I have not played Ghost Exiles all too much, but it seems to be a newer way of being able to buy items. Maybe it's you can save your loadouts, which would be really, really cool, because I don't bring in everything into a match. I bring in what items that I do need, which is most items, but not all of them. You know, or maybe we're wanting to run with a specific run, or maybe no electronics round or something along those lines. Having those individual loadouts, I think, is going to be a really, really cool thing. So this starts going really equipment loadouts, and then we have ghost adjustments. So, you know, maybe not necessarily new ghosts, but adjusting the current ghosts that they have. One of the ones I wish that they would adjust would be the shade. I think that just a shy personality should not be a characteristic trait of a ghost. So fingers crossed that maybe they change something with the shade. I don't know, probably not. Then we got the ID cards. Now I know that this is their new thing pushing forward for as far as showcasing levels. You know, also for giving you more of that customization. I think that we're kind of getting onto the cusp of doing, you know, more customizations. I know that the rank resets and the level resets that are going to be coming way in the future are also going to be covering over, you know, with the ID cards as well. This one, the collectibles, this interests me a lot. I've talked about this a lot on my live streams, that I wish that there was something that you could collect, that you could show off to other folks that, hey, okay, you do spend a lot of times, you do play this game, and to reward those players that keep coming back and keep playing the game. Plus the replayability is now there more so than it was before. So I'm curious what collectibles that you can get. New report system as well. I'm all for the new report system. Obviously, there's going to be kinks in it at the beginning. Just keep that in mind for when you're reporting folks. But I do think that is going to be a very good thing, just because being able to, you know, some of these players can be toxic. There hasn't been anything instituted before. You know, there was nothing you could really do for hackers or for people throwing out racial slurs or anything else. So having this is definitely very welcomed. Now, again, they talked about the new fuse box, right? We talked about that earlier. I don't know, again, because they use the term fuse box, that makes me think you're going to have to go around, you're going to have to locate fuses to put into the fuse box to be able to turn the power on. Now, I'm curious if that reward that you get from that is that you do maybe you don't lose the power. Maybe you can turn on everything on in the house. Maybe if you get one fuse, you can turn on a third. You know, something. I don't know. But I'm curious to see where this one goes. New interactables, and they said here it moves so fast. Player stats as well. So I'm curious of what they're now going to be tracking with the player stats. That's kind of cool. New interactables. New sounds. And then they said, and much more. Now, again, I know that for a lot of this, you know, I know that a lot of people have been looking forward to the rank reset, not rank reset, the level reset that's going to be coming. That's going to be later on down the line. I have not seen anything here to make me think that there is a new ghost. Now, they could very well just be waiting on this, and again, this is just a trailer. But all in all, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I do think that this definitely looks really cool. And I do think that, you know, this is a step in the right direction with the collectibles and with getting that replayability back into the game. Not only that, but I do like the idea that they came out with the Asylum map, with being able to break it down into 5 individual maps, because now that basically you could treat that as 6 maps that you get out of it rather than just having one. So I like that. That's really cool. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video for today. Please let me know if you guys see anything else, any new kind of tidbits or anything like that, any little sneak previews. I'd love to see them. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me for today. But I'm all for these different kind of sneak previews and things like that. So if you guys find anything, please let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you made it all the way through this video, please consider giving it a subscription and liking the video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll see you guys next time.